The features you sell don't matter, and the job title you call yourself doesn't matter. It's all about what you can give to me, what value you can provide. And if people don't understand that, then you have a huge problem when it comes to your sales, marketing, and general operations. But I'm going to show you 3 easy language modifiers that you can implement right now to change that and to actually get people to not only care about what you're trying to sell to them, but value it and want to buy from you. Hi there, welcome to my video. My name is Alexander. If you don't know me, I work one-on-one with business owners to help them achieve better profitability by teaching them how to run their sales, marketing, and operations more effectively so that they can actually get real results. And I make videos like these because there are no hacks, there are no secrets, there are no gotchas. It's all about the fundamentals. That's why I want you to do these so that you don't have to go through the same mistakes that I went through when I was starting my business, and you can actually start implementing these small little changes to see real results. But the reason I made this video in particular is because I just got off a meeting with a huge real estate brokerage, and they were telling me all about their recruitment campaign, how they wanted to get people from other brokerages into their brokerage. And at the end of the day, we broke the whole thing down, the language they were using, the marketing techniques, the call to actions, where they were sending them, what they were saying. And I was shocked at how just inefficient the whole thing was, because the techniques they were using, because the words, the language they were using were largely guesswork. It didn't really make sense. The pain wasn't there, the value wasn't there. And I see so many other business owners fall into this trap where I go to their website and it just tells me how great you are, or you just use language that only people in your industry understand. And the worst offender is that you don't tell me what the thing actually does for me, because at the end of the day, that is what people buy. Your job title doesn't matter, your features don't matter. It only matters what I can get out of working with you. We're the same way, we're all wired that way, so you need to be able to convey that value properly. So I'm going to show you 3 techniques that you can implement right now, these language modifiers that will help you close more sales, get more efficient marketing, and ultimately get better results. The first thing you're going to want to focus on is feature, benefit, outcome. Instead of just relying on the features, which are the raw numbers, the things that live on a spec sheet that nobody really cares about, you need to emphasize the value and the outcome that you create from the thing you're trying to sell. Because let's face it, people don't buy features. You don't care about the iPhone's newest processor, how many gigahertz it has, how many RAM it has, what new specs it has underneath the hood. You only care about what it's going to do for you. If you sold a display on that iPhone, for instance, and I told you it was 2000 nit, high responsive, HDR, 200:1 contrast ratio, you don't know what that means. But if I told you this new iPhone Retina display allows you to see outside so you don't have to stress and squint when you're reading text on there, that outlines what it is, what it does, and what I'll get out of it. So many people miss the mark on this. If I go to your website and I just see how great you are and me, and all this industry jargon, people aren't going to understand that. They don't live in your bubble. And even if they do, they've probably already heard it before from other competitors. You need to understand what it is they're looking to get out of the things that you're ultimately trying to sell. So what you want to do is to take the things that make you special and format them as feature, benefit, outcome. I have feature that gives you benefit so you can get outcome. If you can break every single one of your components of your product or service into bullet points like these, then you can pepper them into your marketing, into your sales messages, into your website, into your business cards, into anything, so that people can instantly understand what it is you're trying to do and why it matters to them. I remember in this meeting when I was talking to the real estate brokerage, they were telling me all about the company culture and the marketing team and all these different techniques and tools and things that they had at the office. But I even pretended I was from another brokerage and said, what does that matter to me? My brokerage already does similar things. My brokerage already does very similar things, and they do it for cheaper. Why am I paying extra for presumably a slightly better version of these things? What you need to understand is to get them from point A to point B in a way that they actually value and that they understand, which leads me to my second language modifier. Start to anchor your problems from the beginning of the sale. This is called diagnostic-based sales. And if you start to understand what it is they have or what it is they don't have, then you can start to anchor your features, benefits, and outcomes directly to what they already value. This was something that came up with them when they were talking about, okay, we're going after these types of realtors. Basically, within a certain amount of time, they had already been in the industry. But because they hadn't really figured out their customer demographic, largely they were guessing. Now imagine if you were going into a sales meeting and you were trying to sell fitness and weight loss to somebody, and you had an elderly person, you had an 18-year-old, and you had a parent and their kid. Those would be entirely different sales strategies. The language you would use, the outcomes they want, the values that they have, the pain that they're going through is going to be completely different. So begin your sales and begin your marketing by understanding what your customer or client ultimately wants and what is preventing them from getting there. Even if you're in a discovery call or an in-person meeting, just ask them point blank, where do you want to be? What's holding you back? What have you tried so far that works? What did you like? What did you dislike? Once you have all that data, then all you need to do is to marry those bullet points with the actual issues that they're facing. For instance, if I were to interview somebody who is a busy professional and now I'm selling weight loss to them, then I would look at them and say, where do you want to be? What is the issues? What are your dream outcome? They just want to feel healthy. They want to not feel tired. They're sitting at a desk all day. They're going through all these different issues because they don't have enough time and they're very lethargic, just sitting in a chair typing at a computer. Now all of a sudden the language that you have in your bullet points for your workout program are tailored directly to what's already happening in their head, the conversation that they're already having. There's no guesswork. If you're not doing this, then basically you're coming to somebody and you're hoping that all of the different things that you're offering hit those targets at the right time. But if you do the diagnostic beforehand, you don't need to do the guesswork. It's the same thing in industry. If I'm selling somebody marketing and they're saying, hey, I want to get more leads, I want to get more customers, I want to get more sales, and all of a sudden we figure out that they've tried Facebook ads, they've tried Meta ads, we're looking at all these, we get a better picture of where they're at and where they want to be. So if I had a solution that could say, you know what, it sounds like you want marketing and you've told me that your dream outcome is you want to add $10,000 additional revenue every single month. I have a marketing program that can do just that. Here's how it's going to work. And then you would break down that strategy. But at the end of the day, don't do guesswork. Don't figure out what your customer wants. Have a target demographic, have a customer avatar. And then when you get into that sales meeting, when you get into that call, you need to understand the words, the language, everything that they use, and it should be simple. The third thing is to keep it simple, stupid. It sounds a bit blunt and it sounds a bit obvious at face value, but I guarantee you, if I go to your website right now, or if I go to your next marketing ad that you're putting out, or if I go to your next outlet where you're going to be, and you're speaking the language as if you were trying to sell to yourself, that is a huge red flag. You need to just keep it simple. Boil the language down to if you were speaking to a first grader. If they don't understand what it does for them, most importantly, but if they don't understand even base level what that word means or even how it applies to them, then you have a serious issue. So comb through the language that you're using in your sales scripts and your marketing copy and everything that you're ever going to speak out loud, even if it's just the speech that you're using when you're doing an in-person meeting, and understand that the conversation in their head is dramatically different oftentimes than the issues that you're presenting them with, that you're trying to reflect back at them. You want to almost become one of them. Be an expert not only in your field at solving the problems, but be somebody who is like a partner to them, like somebody who already is going through the same journey as them, and start to not only empathize with them, but use the terminology that they use. If you want to skip a lot of this, all you have to do is just go to a Facebook group where the people who you're trying to sell to hang out in, or a LinkedIn group or a networking event, and then see what the problems they're experiencing are, see what the words they're using are, see what they're looking for ultimately at the end of the day, and start to channel that into the things that you're using. Because when I was talking to them about their recruiting campaign, these realtors were just going through the whole funnel at the start of the end of the day, and then they weren't converting. He was wasting his time just going through, calling, doing these Zoom meetings, and then none of them would respond back. And the ultimate reason why is because not only was the value not emphasized, not only was the pain not high enough, but because the language they were using was specific to that brokerage. And the reality is that you might not only have language that's specific to your industry, but specific to your business. So start to understand the fundamentals of where they want to be and what is holding them back and what terminology they've been using inside of their heads. Because not only is it a bigger issue if they don't understand what it is you're trying to provide for them, but ultimately the bridge between starting where they're at and where they want to be might be solved by your thing, and they just don't understand that. So if you can swoop in and just instantly use the language that they're already using in their heads, then you can skip a lot of that. Because the reality is, if I try and sell somebody on Meta ads, they're not going to understand what that is as a marketer. But if I tell somebody I can get them 50 new leads in 6 months, that applies to pretty much any business owner who is interested in keeping their business alive. Not only that, I'd go a step further and say, I can double your revenue. I can get you more money. Just make it simple, make it easily digestible. If I go to your website and if I go to your outlets and if I go to your marketing materials and there's just language on there that's like, what is this for? What does it do? Who is it for? What will it do for me? It's just confusing to the actual people. And not only that, but the terminology you're using in different market segments might not even align. Your product or service might be applicable to multiple people, but you need to understand that it won't hit all of the right buttons for them to buy from you unless you're specifically targeting that. If this has been really informative for you, I encourage you to implement these in your businesses. By the way, if this is too confusing, then ultimately what I can do for you is just click on the link in the description below. It's never too late. I give away a free one-on-one audit where I just tell you how to do these things in your business right away so that you can actually get real results. It's completely free. And always as well, I would love for you to comment below if there's anything that you're struggling with, any videos, any topics that you'd like to hear about. And if you like these videos, make sure to follow me and subscribe to this channel because I'm always putting out real value. I want you to win. I want you to succeed, but ultimately you do have to make these changes. And what's great is they're so small. They're so simple. Just go ahead and implement these into your business and you'd be surprised at how such a small tweak can double, triple, quadruple your entire sales conversion rates. Hey, you'll be able to do the exact same thing, but you'll be able to get far better results from it. And ultimately, again, it's all about the fundamentals. So until then, I'll see you next time.